Okay, hola, soy Román González, le mando un saludo a todos los fans, bendiciones, cuídense.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, we are just about, we're a couple days away from Sergey Kovalev 2. I'm going to be there at the Mandalay Bay, so if you guys are in the Las Vegas area, give your boy a holler. I'll be at the fight. But, you know, with this fight coming up, and obviously it's no secret that on this channel that I've said that I want Kovalev to win. I hope he wins, but I wanted to make my videos before this fight starts, and I'm gonna be a little objective here. We're gonna go from both sides. You know what Andre Ward can do to beat Kovalev, and what Kovalev can do to beat Andre Ward. So this first video right here is the video that on why Andre Ward can beat Kovalev, things that he could do to beat him, and I'll give you my unbiased, objective reasons for what he can do to beat him, and I hope you guys like it. But Andre Ward, you know, a lot of people are picking him to win this fight. You know, a lot of people believe. You know, I've been going around to a lot of these boxing gyms these last couple of days. I've gone to Johnny Toko's gym, Heavy Hitters gym. You know, a lot of people that I asked about this fight, I say, hey, why do you think who do you think's gonna win this fight and why? And they usually wind up saying Andre Ward. And the reason they give me is that Andre Ward is the smarter fighter. Now, I think that's a matter of perspective thing. But Andre Ward is a very smart fighter, and he is smart enough to make the adjustments to defeat a Sergey Kovalev. With that being said, the blueprint for what he can do to beat Kovalev was laid out in rounds 5, 7, 8, and 11. The rounds that I thought he won clearly in that fight against Kovalev. The rounds where, you know, he was making Kovalev uncomfortable, smothering him, and really ripping some nice body shots here and there. Now, from what I've been told from people that I know that went to the Ward workout in San Francisco, they said that Ward was pivoting real nicely. Like you saw a lot more pivoting in his workouts, and he just looked like he's in better shape for this fight. And if that's true, then it's going to be a tougher task to deal with Andre Ward, because Andre Ward, one thing that he's been severely lacking since he came back, and especially in that fight against Kovalev, was the fact that he really wasn't pivoting that much. He was attacking very much in straight lines, and that he's lost a lot of the foot speed, or a lot of the foot speed that he had in the Super 6. He's not that guy anymore. So pivoting and not attacking in straight lines and being a little bit more creative with his attack is very paramount, very important against Sergey Kovalev, and that's what he's going to need to do. He can't attack in those same straight lines, or Kovalev's going to be peppering him with that jab all night. Aside from you know, that whole thing, one thing that I feel Ward does have going for him in comparison to Kovalev is, like, you know, we talk about the jab of Kovalev, which is a really good jab, but while Kovalev is a much sharper puncher, while Kovalev is a maybe slightly quicker, I think he's quicker than Ward with his hands. One thing Ward has going for him is that his jab has more dexterity on it, meaning that, like, okay, Kovalev, when he's boxing, he throws his jab really straight. But Ward, you know, he might have his jab come from here, it might come up, or it might come from here. So the fact that he's able to throw his jab from many different angles, whether it's from down low, up top, and it's not coming from the same spot every time, I think gives him an advantage, because then it allows him to feint and mix in whatever he wants with his attack, which then can disrupt the timing of Kovalev. So the dexterity of Ward's jab, I think people talk a lot about how smart he is, but they don't really talk, when they say he's smart, they don't really tell you about, like, what things make him a smart fighter. And one thing I can say about Ward that does make him a smart fighter and a skilled fighter is that when he throws his jab, it comes from a different spot. There's more dexterity to his jab than Kovalev. So I think that's one way he wins this fight, is the dexterity of his jab, and how he mixes that jab in with his feints to disrupt the timing of Kovalev. That's what allows him to really dictate this fight and be the boss in that ring come June 17th at Mandalay Bay. Aside from that, you know, Ward has mentioned a lot about Kovalev and how he's made a lot of excuses, and how he's saying he gassed out, and that a lot of his training habits aren't, you know, really good. And if that happens to be the case, which I don't think will be the case, I think Kovalev's going to actually come better prepared for this fight than the last one. I think he won't gas out as early as he did in the first fight. I think he's going to be better in this fight. So if that's the case, if what Kovalev is holds true to Ward's statements, then you can have confidence and take solace in the fact that, okay, I fought this guy, he knocked me down, he, you know, did what he could to get me out of there early, but I was able to withstand that, and then by the 5th round, you know, I had got my rhythm, and I was beginning to change the momentum of the fight. So if you're Andre Ward, you take solace in that, and you kind of take some little things you did in those first couple rounds, and what you did wrong in the first couple rounds, and you just make your adjustments. And as far as like adjustments he can make, because people are saying that the problem with boxing fans is like they'll always make these blanket statements, these vague statements, but they'll never break them down. They'll say like, oh well, this guy is smarter, or this guy knows how to make adjustments, but they don't really tell you what makes a guy smart or how he makes those adjustments. I'll tell you what he needs to make those adjustments. In those first couple rounds, if you go back and you watch them against Kovalev, he needs to make sure that he gets his legs under him early, because I think one problem he had early on was that he stayed in the pocket maybe a little longer than you'd like him to, and what wound up happening is his legs weren't fully under him, and he felt the power of Kovalev, and that's one of the reasons I feel he went down. Obviously, Kovalev is a puncher, but you know, Ward is a lot harder to knock down if he has his legs under him. So for those first couple rounds, they might be boring and they might not be entertaining, but you need to make sure, if you're Andre Ward, that hey, okay, this guy has power. This guy's coming to come in better. You gotta assume that he's coming in better than the last time, and he's gonna come to take my head off and go and try to really just beat the hell out of me. So it's my job as the smaller man, naturally, as someone who doesn't have the punching power, to make sure that my legs get under me these first couple rounds and I develop a rhythm. So developing that rhythm, not really staying in that pocket too long and exchanging with Kovalev. I think these are things that are very important for Andre Ward. Those first 3 rounds, he needs to make sure that, okay, I'm not there the whole fight, and I'm not going to get into these exchanges with Kovalev, because if that happens, you know, the fact of the matter is Kovalev is just a much sharper puncher. From point A to point B, his punches get there quicker, because if you look at Kovalev's punches, and this is traditional for most Eastern European fighters, which is one of the things I like about him, and I wish was taught more in the American amateur system, which is like, okay, when they're punching, it's just straight punches. They're not winging shots. They're not slapping. And sometimes I feel like the tendency of the American fighter is they slap with their punches, and the punches don't get there as quickly from point A to point B. So if he gets into those exchanges, he will get hurt badly in those first couple rounds, because his legs won't be fully under him, and Kovalev's punches are sharper. So for Ward, it's just about being smart, staying out of trouble those first 3 to 4 rounds and getting your rhythm. But what Ward does to win this fight is, you gotta look at, like, I was watching the Arthur Abraham fight the other night, and I was telling my boy Sean to tell, the boxing boy, shout out to him. We were watching the fight together because I've been hanging out with him. So Sean, I was telling Sean, I was like, you know, one thing Ward doesn't have that he used to have when I was watching that fight was that, like, you know, if you watch Super 6, you watch the Arthur Abraham fight, is like, okay, he had the foot speed and the quickness to wrap you up and dish up your timing a little bit better than he can now. But you see, now I think he can still dish up your timing, but he's going to have to do it in a different fashion than he did in the Super 6. Rather than tying you up, he'll have to feint you a lot more and break his rhythms a lot more. So, like, he can't fight in the same rhythm. I think, you know, like, one of his favorite fighters was Floyd Mayweather. And Floyd, if you look at Floyd, right, one thing that made Floyd great, especially as he got older, when he didn't have the quickness or the punching power as he moved up in weight, was the fact that Floyd was able to feint you and fight in different rhythms as the fight progressed. He never fought in the same rhythm all the way through, which is why he's always been a rather hard guy to figure out. Ward needs to kind of take that same approach against Kovalev, because if he can do that, if he does a great job at changing his rhythms and making sure that he's not attacking in straight lines, or he's not, like, you know, throwing his jabs and clinching in the same order, or showing any patterns, then that makes Kovalev's life a lot harder, and it gives him a better chance to win. So look, Ward does have some things going for him in this fight. This will be his 5th fight since his return. You know, he's had 4 fights since he came off of his long layoff. You know, he fought Paul Smith, Sullivan Barrera, Alexander Brand, and Kovalev the first fight. So this is the 5th fight. You think he should be settled in right now? You think he should be more accustomed to getting his rounds, and, you know, we're kind of past the point of him, like, you know, getting his rounds and shaking out the ring rust. The guy's, you know, not coming off that layoff anymore. So I'm looking forward to a great performance. from Andre Ward, and if he's able to go in there and beat Kovalev this time, convincingly and legitimately, then all credit in the world to him. But those are just some things that I think he can do to beat Kovalev. You guys can add anything you want in the comments down below. I love to hear what you guys have to say. Take the time to subscribe, and you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.